In 2004, Ned Vizzini spent 5 days in a psychiatric hospital. Shortly after that time, he decided to write a book called It's Kind of a Funny Story. He completed the novel in less than a month, and in 2006 the book was published. In 2010, Ned Vizzini's book hit the big screen. It's Kind of a Funny Story is about Craig Gilner, a New York teenager who has just started his first year at Manhattan's executive pre-professional high school. The pressure of succeeding and being the best starts to weigh on Craig, and soon he struggles to eat and sleep. One night, his anxiety gets so bad he nearly kills himself. But instead, he ends up in a mental hospital where he deals with his anxieties and meets other people with mental health problems, including a girl who has scarred her own face with scissors. In both versions of the story, Craig's anxiety revolves around school, and both versions have Craig receiving a phone call from a science teacher about missing labs. In the movie, that's the end of it. But in the book, Craig calls his teacher back and tells him that he is in the hospital. The result is that Craig gets a phone call from the school's principal. Craig thinks the call is to tell him he is being expelled, but it's really to tell him to take his time getting better and not to worry about school. They want to see him get better. A second difference is that in the movie, Craig is taking medicine for his depression, and then starts seeing a shrink in the hospital after being admitted. But in the book, he was seeing Dr. Minerva and taking his meds outside of the hospital before his suicidal episode. There are important aspects of the story that are found in both versions. One is that Craig checks himself in. He wants to kill himself and makes a phone call to the suicide hotline. They tell him to go to the hospital, and the closest one to Craig is just 2 blocks away, so he walks himself over. This is an important similarity because it shows that he wants to get better. No one is forcing him to go to the hospital. A second similarity is that Craig and his best friend Aaron have a fight over the phone after he's been admitted. And it isn't until Craig is asked for a favor from Aaron that they make up. The important part comes when Aaron comes to the hospital and says, "Craig, don't kill yourself, okay?" It shows that he cares, even though it doesn't always seem like it. The favor that Craig asks of Aaron brings us to a third and final similarity. In both the movie and the book, Craig helps his roommate, Muqtada. Muqtada rarely ever moves from his bed, until Craig puts on some Egyptian music from Muqtada's past and reminds him of better days and the hope the future holds. This book helps not only teens but adults as well as that mental health is a serious thing, and sometimes there are people who understand what we're going through. The help one needs might only be a hospital stay away.
Created using Powtoon.